Welcome to Blacktop TV. I'm Shayna Calandro, and today I'm joined by DMV's own Victor Oladipo from the Orlando Magic. He's fresh off the plane from Las Vegas, so I figure I'll start with USA Minicamp. Take me through what it was like for you to play this week.
It was a great experience. It was non-contact, but we were just there, getting used to the tradition, getting used to the program, getting used to the coaches, to the players. And I learned a lot. USA basketball means more than just basketball. It's about a family and being a part of something bigger than yourself. So I'm blessed and fortunate to have the opportunity to do what I did this week, and I'm looking forward to representing my country in the future.
Well, last year you were on the select team. You practiced against the FIBA team. How is this a little bit different?
It was a lot different. Last year we were kind of preparing for the World Games. This year was more so the mini camp. So hopefully I get the opportunity to maybe even go to Rio or get ready for the World Games and the 2020 Olympics as well. So it's just getting used to everything, getting used to the coaching staff, getting used to the system, the things that we run and everything like that. And it was more of a celebration for the World Games and winning 4 gold medals and stuff like that. So it was a great experience.
Well, I think it's safe to say you put a stamp on the USA Minicamp this week. You were on highlights from the day it started, dunking, the behind the back from half court. Then in the AllStar Game practice, I guess you can call it, you dunked over Michael Carter-Williams. And then you had a shimmy at the end. So I got to ask, is that going to be your new trademark for this upcoming season?
Maybe. We'll see. If I do it again and, people start doing it a lot, I might have to trademark it. But it was fun, man. It was just friendly competition. Me and Mike are real cool, and we were just going at it. You know what I mean? The battle of competition kind of took over, and it was pretty fun. It was cool. I had a good time. And I'm looking forward, like I said, to going back next summer for the camp and getting them ready for Rio.
Okay. Well, it's not anything new for dunking with you. You were in the All-Star Dunk Contest, and so. Since you've been dunking all week, do you plan to maybe go into the dunk contest next year? Because you fell a little short this year. So do you feel like you have to go back and kind of show out?
It's going to be a tough decision to make. But, I wouldn't mind going back and playing. It would be a great experience, and I think it would be pretty cool.
Okay. Well, plenty of time before the next All-Star weekend. What has your summer generally been like so far? What have you been involved in?
Well, I've been just traveling around, going around and playing basketball anywhere I can, everywhere I can. I can't stay in one place too long. I don't know what it is, but I've been home playing. I've been in Orlando playing, just all over. I was in LA for a few weeks, so Vegas, obviously. So I just been going around just playing and just trying to showcase my talent everywhere I go.
What has been your favorite place this summer?
My favorite place this summer would probably have to be LA. I love LA. I just love the vibe, love the energy, love the people, love the area, love the weather and the food. So it's a pretty cool place to be. Hopefully next summer I might stay out there a little longer than just 2 weeks.
Okay. So do you think you maybe join the Drew League or something?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to play in that next year. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So last summer I interviewed you at your first annual charity event weekend. Now this is your second annual coming up. And I asked you what you were building towards for the next upcoming season. You told me being a leader. Do you feel like you accomplished that since last summer?
I think I've taken a lot of strides, big strides in that category, and I think there's a lot of stuff I still need to work on. But at the end of the day, I just got to continue to keep growing and keep getting better because it's a process. It's all about patience, man. Almost like you got to wait your turn, but at the same time, you still got to work and better yourself. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. The guys look up to me, and I feel like I'm going to have to play really well and be a great leader in order for us to win. So that's what I'm working on right now. My mindset and things like that.
Speaking of people looking up to you, you do a lot of youth camps. It's been a few here in D.C. and Maryland area. Why do you feel like you have to come back home and make sure that these youth players know that you're there for them?
It's just a part of my job, honestly. I feel like that's what God put me on this earth for, put me in the position I am in today, is to give back to the youth. and I want to, first and foremost because I feel like a lot of kids can relate to my story and relate to how I came to this point. And I just feel like I got to give back to those who gave back to me, and this area was a big part of the reason why I'm the man I am today. So just coming back and giving back to the kids. I love the kids. I think kids like me for the most part. But giving back to them is huge. And it's been a great summer, man. I've accomplished a lot. Coming back and doing camps here, doing camps in Tampa and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to just continue to building that and continuing to keep giving back.
All right, well, you said people can relate to you. So maybe not a lot of people know you went to DeMatha, then you chose to go to Indiana. What advice would you give a player that's in your situation now? They're coming out of high school, they had a lot of accolades in high school, but may not have been highly recruited to too many different schools. What advice would you give them?
The biggest thing I would give them is stay in the gym. I mean, that might sound old-fashioned. That might sound, simple, but that's the only reason why I'm sitting here talking to you guys today. There's a lot of guys who are better than me, more skilled than I am, but nobody worked harder than I did. And I feel like that's the reason why, I started blooming late, because I always worked, man. I just kept working, and my skills kind of followed my work ethic, caught up with my work ethic. So my biggest advice to kids is don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do anything, because I'm living proof that anything is possible. So just continue to keep working. Even though there's days where it seems like your work is there's no result from your work, you got to keep working, because eventually the results will come.
Okay, well, getting into some Orlando Magic stuff, you guys finished last season 25-57. But there's been a couple things. They re-signed Tobias Harris, they drafted Mario Hezonja, they picked up Shabazz Napier from the Heat. So what are your expectations for next season?
Win. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's the toughest thing to do in our league. So you could talk about playoffs, you could talk about doing all these other stuff, individual accolades, but at the end of the day, the biggest goal for me, the biggest goal for this team is win. Take it one game at a time and try to win every game we play.
Okay. I'm going to get into them kind of individually. So Shabazz Napier helped them win the title. UConn won the title in 2014, came to the Heat, didn't really get too many minutes. How do you think he's going to be a part of Orlando Magic?
I feel like he's going to fit perfect with our young core. I was a fan of his in college, a fan of his in his first year in the league. So it's going to be fun to play with him. He's a great player. He can score the ball. He can set guys up, and he's really solid. So I'm looking forward to him, being on our squad.
Okay, and Mario Hezonja, who went 5th overall in the draft, he's coming from Barcelona, where he played for 2 seasons. How do you think he's going to translate in the NBA and, more importantly, with the Magic?
I think he's going to be just fine. He's got that swagger and that toughness with him. So he's a great guy, too, and he wants to win. So we definitely going to need that type of swagger and that attitude on the team. So he's going to fit just fine.
Okay. Well, personally, you have a lot going on. You mentioned you're all over. You can't stay somewhere for too long. How do you balance your personal life and your basketball life, or do they just collide?
I'm actually working on that now. It's kind of tough, just staying in touch with everybody and, just trying to be a basketball player and a regular 23-year-old at the same time. So it's something that I definitely need to work on. But I'm getting better at it. There's a lot of people, I would like to keep in touch with, or I like to, get to know and stuff like that. But it's just tough, man. It's like, 150 new people every day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tough. But I'm working on it. I'm getting better at balancing it out. And it's something that I can't learn overnight. So, but it's pretty cool, man. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't rather be doing anything else.
They say regular 23-year-old. So social media is obviously a big part of today's society. You don't have too much of a big presence on social media, to my knowledge. So as a regular 23-year-old, why do you stay off of social media?
Social media, man, it can be really good or it can be really bad. You know what I mean? So I don't, put myself out there too much because, I don't I don't need all that extra stuff, in my life. But social media is great for building your brand and getting yourself out there and letting the world know what's going on in your life and stuff like that. So I try to use it for that extent. But social media, man, it can stab you in the back. So you got to be careful what you put out there.
Right. So how do you? One thing is staying off of social media to stay out of the drama, but being a young athlete and being at different events and things, a lot of people get caught up in certain situations. How do you stay out of those situations?
You just gotta be smart, honestly. You gotta be smart at what you do, who you surround yourself with, what you look at, what you put out there. It's all about building your brand and making yourself, showing the world what you want the world to perceive you as. So you gotta just be smart, man. Some guys are they're just quick to write and not quick to think. So you gotta be slow to respond and quick to listen. So that's what I try to do.
Okay. Well, before I get you out of here, I have some more fun type of questions. So we'll start with this one. Which player in the NBA would you enjoy most putting on a poster?
Putting on a poster. Enjoy most putting on a poster.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Michael Carter Williams just was on a poster the other night.
That's
So
my
who's
man.
next?
So I don't know. Anybody who's 7 feet or above would be fun putting on a poster. So all the centers in the league.
Okay. Player from any team right now to play with on the Orlando Magic, who would it be?
Man, that's a tough question. I'll play with Anthony Davis. I think that'd be a good one.
What's your favorite nickname?
VO is cool. They used to call me the VO show when I was in Indiana, but that was pretty cool. Orlandipo, I think was
Orlandipo, that's a good one.
I think that's a good one.
I
Right?
think you should rock
like
with that one. What are you most afraid of?
What am I most afraid of? As far as you mean just in...
Just in general. What scares Victor Oladipo?
I think what scares me the most is, other than failure, because, at the end of the day, I don't fear failure, but it's like I work hard so I don't fail. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what scares me the most is just, like, life after life. That makes sense? Like life after death and everything like that, and what goes on with that. That might sound weird from a 23-year-old. Yeah, like what goes on after all of that stuff, after life on earth. But I believe in Christ, so I don't have to worry about that too much.
So you're not really sure what you're afraid of?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what's your favorite song to sing in the car?
I like that Ed Sheeran joint right now.
Can you give me a little piece of it? I don't know what song you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everybody knows the song.
Okay.
Yeah, Thinking Out Loud.
You're not going to give me a piece of it?
I don't know the words.
Favorite song, but you don't know the
I don't know the words. I don't know the words like that, but I know the song. That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
And what is your new favorite dance?
My new favorite dance out will have to be the Magic Shuffle, obviously. I know y'all probably haven't seen that, but the Magic made me do this little like Magic Shuffle for Magic Fit Week, and it's gone viral, so that's probably my favorite.
That was going to be my last question.
Oh.
You spearheaded the Orlando Magic Shuffle. Did you actually make that up, or was it a combination of people?
Yeah, it was a combination of people who made it up. Actually, it was only one girl who made it up, but the dance is pretty cool. I think the kids loved it. So it was hard to learn. It took me about 2 hours. Now it only took me like 2 minutes to learn because I'm a dancer. Is what I do.
Oh, that's what you do. Okay. Well, we'll make sure to play it at the end of this video. Everybody can learn as well. So you guys did that for youth development, for them to stay active. Is that what that was all about? Yeah,
for youth development, to get them to stay fit, to get the kids, make sure that they, get outside. Because, nowadays, everybody just want to play video games, stay inside, hang out with their friends and stuff like that inside. But, just to keep them fit, man, keep them healthy, so they can live long.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on BlacktopTV today. Good luck with everything you're doing and with the charity event weekend. That's all we have, and make sure you tune in next time for the BlacktopTV. I'm Shayna Calandro. Thanks again.